Hi, I'm Emily Wilkerson, and this is my informational speech. How many of you have seen movies like Shutter Island or Girl Interrupted? What does this have to do with my speech, you might ask? Well, they both talk about the history of mental illnesses at different time periods. And that's what I'm doing my speech about. The purpose of the speech is to tell you how the treatment of mental illness has changed throughout history. I have written many speeches and papers about mental illness. In fact, I used one of my old papers to help me write this speech, so I'm very credible at this. And I also used other sources like PsychCentral.com and StudentPulse.com to learn more about the different ways they did this. Starting in 5000 BC, they would smash holes into your skull using a rock or a stone to release the evil from your soul, causing you to have this mental illness. By doing this, it helped, and they also used it to treat headaches. It was believed by doing this, evil spirits would leave your vessel, and it was also common for them to use exorcism and prayers. And they also would threaten and punish the mentally ill. At this time, they advanced from using a stone to also using a drill and surgical procedures, which this is what this one used because the holes are more curved and symmetrical. By 500 BC, they started using bloodletting and also would rid the vessel of bile, phlegm, and feces. They would do this by forcing the mentally ill to eat tobacco or laxatives to get the evil out of their body. After ridding the body of evil, they would change their diet to eat more greens, barley, and drink more milk. By 1792, mental hospitals were now available, and this allowed the families to not have the burden of having to take care of the mentally ill, since a lot of the times they chained their son or daughter to a wall or put them in cages so that people wouldn't have to see them. Asylums were not a good solution at first, though, because the staff was untrained and did not care about the mentally ill. They would also chain these patients to the wall and have them sit in their own feces, or use them as a sideshow attraction like the show American Horror Story, Freak Show. Slowly more inventions came to calm the patients, like medicine, and they would also use a gyrating chair to shake the body back into equilibrium so that they were not out of whack anymore and they'd be normal, but of course this did not work. By 1792, it was believed that love and kindness could cure the mentally ill. So the people who worked in the asylums changed their ways and started treating them better, and it did have a positive outcome, but as asylums became more popular and people were sending their children there and whatnot, they failed to pass on their loving beliefs, and everyone believed that they were going to have new medicines to take care of this problem, so they stopped caring and it went back to the old ways. Soon, mentally illness started being cured by more physical ways, like electroshock therapy and lobotomy. Electroshock therapy was invented in 1939, and this procedure was first used as a punishment, but is now was used as a way to cure them, and it is actually still used today in very last resort. But the side effects were amnesia and distraction, but they were all temporary. And lobotomy was first performed in 1935, and it was done by shocking the patients into a coma and using a sharp tool to enter the eye socket at the top. And it was thought to sever the nerves that caused emotional despairs. But they thought it was successful and that it was working, but then years later they realized that there was a 25% death rate and that it made the patients childlike, so they decided it was not working and they do not do that anymore. Medicines have been used to treat patients since the 1800s, but only to sedate them. But finally, by 1949, JFK introduced lithium, which opened the doors to more medicines being invented, like Valium and stuff, to treat patients. By using the combination of medicine and counseling, pain, the pain could be masked and confronted all at the same time. My conclusion is that although mental illness has come a long way, we still cannot cure many of them. From bloodletting to smashing skulls and electroshock therapy and lobotomy, none of these have controlled mental illness as much as medications and counseling. Although we are still looking for a cure, we have not found one, but we have found a way to control these illnesses and counseling from caring professionals.